Hey guys, come with me as we analyze our short film called Monde. Okay, so here we have Yanon Killer Creations. That is our main actress called Tando.
You're literally denying a journalist and your news station from reporting the fact that your boss, a politician, is
So this first scene was longer than what's in the short film. It was supposed to be, this short film was actually supposed to be a feature, but because of circumstances out of our control, we decided to shorten it into what we have now, which is 13 minutes and 29 seconds, somewhere there. So this scene, this bedroom scene, is actually her room. She was in university last year, and yeah, we just got that room and we decided to shoot there. Use what's available and you'll get something. This is Jeremiah. I really wanted some close-ups of his lips. Some extreme close-ups. Just to show how much he wants to destroy this girl. He wants to take her job and all that stuff. Oh, I love this shot. I love this shot. I love her hair. I love her glasses. I love her clothing. I love the background. This is TDN Nyama restaurant in Woodlands, right in Lusaka. This is Chichi. And this is Tando. Chichi plays Wumi and Tando plays Monde. And in this scene, they're basically talking about a girl who died at a school, and no one, not even the police, are paying much attention to her. This is the want. This is what the character wants in the story. What is she after? What's her goal? If we had the time, we could have really expanded on who the character of Monde is, why she really wants to pursue this, why she wants to find out what actually happened to a girl called Precious who died at a university. It's because Monde actually has a past, which we really didn't talk about in the short film, but she has a past of past abuse from one of her relatives, and she doesn't really want another girl to experience what she experienced. So that's her drive. That's her ghost, basically. They call it a ghost, something that happened to a character in the past, and sometimes that motivates what they're doing currently. Oh, I love this shot. And Ruth. Oh, wonderful Ruth. She is so cool. And she has very beautiful eyes. I wanted to focus on her eyes, on her dark skin. Yeah, with the glasses, you've noticed they are now different on Tando. And because she broke her glasses, I'm not sure if it's when we were filming or I think it was, I think she did it on her own. Yeah. Tando, you did this to yourself. In this scene, Ruth plays a girl called Tai. Tai is the dead girl's friend, Precious's friend. Tai and Precious used to be close. So right now, Tai doesn't want to give too much of information to Monde because she doesn't really trust the media that much. She thinks the media wants to use this information just to get some clicks and likes and all that stuff. That's true. She's not a detective. She's just a reporter. And she's an amateur reporter. Monde is actually the most amateurish reporter you've ever seen. And I wanted to show that. When you're casting someone, make sure you cast them according to who the character is. This character, she's an amateur, so she has to be young. That's why I casted Tando, because she's young and the audience will relate to that. Oh, she can't actually solve this mystery. She can't actually solve this. Oh, look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. They're beautiful. I like extreme close-ups. And she leaves. Yeah, when you're casting, you must make sure you really cast well. So the audience gets to believe that that person fits that role. This is the stalker. In the full script, in the feature script, we actually have a stalker. We see them following her. Like in the beginning, with the audience that's asking questions, why are they following her? What do they want with
What
her?
do you know about Precious? She was cool. I don't want to say anything.
In this scene,
Is this truth newspaper?
we didn't have any music,
How did you know her?
and it wasn't really cut like this. It was actually longer than this, but in order to make it shorter,
Was she found?
what it actually played out was Monde was interviewing each person one at a time. It wasn't intercutting it like this. Like she goes from one person to the other person. It wasn't really like this. So what we plan to do is there's this film called Steve Jobs. I'm not sure if it's Steve Jobs or is it just Jobs. I think it's Steve Jobs. Starring Michael Fassbender. There's this scene where Michael Fassbender is talking to another character. I forgot his name, and they're basically talking about why they removed Steve from a certain position, and that scene plays really really well. It's like they go back and forth. They go back into the past and they come back to the present, and then they go further into the past. Everything is playing simultaneously, and we don't spend much time in one particular scene. And then there's music in the background, and it plays so well. So that's the motivation we had with this scene. We didn't want to pay too much attention to Monde's detective work. We wanted to pay attention to what Monde was doing. We wanted to pay attention to what Monde was actually investigating, and then at the same time we jumped to Ty, asking Keith about what Monde was actually like at this media station or whatever. Basically, we just wanted to make it shorter, and I love this. I love this scene, and I love the camera work. I was on camera, and that's why I love this scene. I don't love it because I was on camera, but I love the way the camera is moving. It's not so shaky, but it's a bit it's handheld. I love handheld work. I'm inspired by Paul Greengrass. If you watch Paul Greengrass, his movies, especially Jason Bourne, they're few handheld. So this was actually inspired by some Jason Bourne kind of camera movements. This is actually Chichi's place, and she was nice enough to allow us to shoot here. I really love the entire area and all that. It's really cool.
Yeah? Do you still want to know about Precious?
Some cool cuts over there. That conversation was we actually had a conversation between these two, but we actually had to cut it before this. Monde and Ty actually were talking before we cut to this montage over here. They were actually talking about how Precious was like, who she was, and all that stuff. So Ty has gotten softer to Monde, and she's willing to talk about who Precious was and what led to her demise, so to say. Yep. Some more close-ups. This is Unza.
I'm too much of a coward to do the things. And this is the only evidence of that. Once you lose it.
Yeah, this is the only evidence on this earth. We wanted a reason for Monde not to lose. If she loses this, it's game over. She won't get evidence as to why Precious died. And these guys, they are looking for that evidence. They are looking for that USB stick that was just handed to Monde. So, what is she going to do? She knows she's been followed, and she knows her instincts, her investigative instincts are telling her to hide this USB. So where is she going to hide it? And she prays, and then she swallows it. She swallows the USB stick. Boom, she's caught. Boom. She already has the bandage on her nose to show that, oh, the beating already happened. She's been beaten up and she placed herself together. So here we did some cutting. And we go back to her being questioned by the guy who captured her. And then we go to the scene where she's like bandaging herself and all that. And then we go back to the scene where she's being questioned. So I really like that kind of cutting where we go back and forth, man. It's so cool. And it doesn't really waste time. It's like you always want to move forward. You always want to move forward. You don't always want to like stay in one scene for a long time. So you give the audience, like, you tell the audience to pay attention without really telling them to pay attention. So here we couldn't find, like, the budget was really budgeting. We couldn't find people. People were far, so we couldn't find anyone to like pretend to beat her up or something like that. So we decided, okay, we'll put her in the dark and we'll let the audience's imagination run wild. So now she's vomiting up the USB stick. How far are you willing to go for that evidence? Is basically the question that is being asked. I love the music in the background. Ooh, there we go. Tando told me she was only going to do that once because the stick fell in the sink and she didn't want to put it back in her mouth. I wouldn't also want to put it back in my mouth. So we only did that in one take. And then we come back to her on the bed. So we showed everything that happened. And then we come back to here. That's my voice in the background. Me trying to be intimidating. So that voice is the guys who are torturing Precious, basically, and Monde is watching that. I really wanted this to be in focus, the eye, but I couldn't get it. My lens is not that powerful. It's a kit lens. And she pauses it. Is she going to publish? Is she not? And she's going to do it. But first she thinks about it. And she enters it. There we go. And then we got some extra voices from my friends, pretending to be Precious's old friends. They're going to talk about her in a very good way. Like, yes, Precious was very controversial, but she was a human being. Human beings are always, at one moment, they're very controversial. Some people hate them, some people love them, but you have some people who hate you, and you have some people who love you. That's the way it goes. Not everyone is going to love you, not everyone is going to hate you. That's how it is. I really got music by some from YouTube free music, you know. So yeah, special thanks to TJ Nyama and Yanunkila Creations. There we go. Yanunkila means it smells good. So it smells good creations 2026. So yeah, that's the behind the scenes of the short film, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, see you next time.